Hello and welcome. In today's video, we're going to talk about 5 things I always do before I start welding. Before welding, I always check my gear and my equipment. So let's start with my gear on me. I love wearing a welding apron while welding. Stick, sparks fly. MIG, sparks fly. If you're grinding and cutting, sparks are flying. It's nice to just know you got a little bit of protection, but also what I love about it is that you can put tools in it so you're not like looking around the shop for things that you use pretty often, like a pair of whelpers. Having these just on hand is always great. And then a sheet metal gauge, so you kind of know always where your material thickness is and how to set up your machine. These things I just tuck in my apron, and it just makes things a lot faster and more efficient. And the other thing I always check before welding on my gear is to make sure that the battery in my hoods are on and it's working. These are a couple of YesWelder hoods that I have, and I really like. They're both auto darkeners, which means that they are not dark, and then the arc starts and that hits a sensor and it auto darkens. But the battery has to be working and good in these. So let's flip these over and I'm going to zoom in on how to check the battery in both of these hoods. Now, moving on to some of the equipment. I'm here with YesWelder's MIG 250 Pro, and as we can see, there's no wire in it. So we're gonna put some wire in it real quick, but before we do that, I always make sure that I turn the machine off. It's a really good idea before you start welding to just take a look at all of your machine, your equipment, that kind of stuff, you know, like I said. But when you find something like this, where I have no wire, I have to turn my machine off for safety. So we're gonna throw some wire in this real quick. Now that we got some wire, the machine's ready to go, or at least I think it is. I need to double check my ground clamp to make sure that it is solid and that it has a nice path to the workpiece, because if the current doesn't go through my ground clamp, it may go through me and hurt me. So we're gonna check the ground clamp. With the ground clamp good, the last thing I'm gonna do is check the metal and make sure that it is ready to be welded. So here we have some metal, and as we can see, this surface it's got mill scale on it. There is some like little burr on it from cutting it, and it's just kind of not nice and not clean and not good. So we're gonna clean this up real quick to make sure the metal is now prepped to weld. Now we're ready to weld. We've got a welding apron on, we've got all of our handy dandy tools ready to go. We have our ground clamps solid, our helmet batteries have been checked and operating. We've checked the material thickness on our metal. We've checked to make sure our machine is set correctly. We have checked the metal, cleaned the metal, and that's ready to go. And now that's all that's left to do is weld. For more information on the products seen in this video and more information on welding, you can check out YesWelder at YesWelder.com. And until next time, enjoy welding with YesWelder.